Welcome, everybody. Excited to show you some film on Lions' second-year running back, Kerryon Johnson. The man on the podcast we've nicknamed the Whizzinator. I'll explain that joke as we get deeper into this show. Mostly, I want to talk about his fantasy football stock for 2019. Since Detroit cut Theo Riddick, Johnson has seen his ADP soar by almost a full round. As of my recording this, he's the first pick in the third round in standard drafts and even a couple spots higher than that in PPR. What do we think of that? Let's dig in. First things first, what kind of player is Kerryon Johnson? I'm going to show you that he can be physical, but I think he already has that reputation. What stands out most as a surprise on film is that he's got that stop foot, go foot thing that we prize, as well as the ability to string together moves in a coherent way that extends runs, illustrating good vision as he goes. And of course, because I like this player, I'm going to point out his good plays and make him look like a superstar. But I don't think you can fake the cutting ability that we're seeing in plays like this. It's not exactly jockstrap juking stuff. It's not quite LaShawn McCoy. But just take note that Johnson can make these kinds of moves without losing his momentum. And again, 3 times in this run, he seems to see ahead and be able to translate what he sees into a change of vector and an acceleration that loses a potential tackler. I think it's so important to know what the runner himself looks like on film and not just know his stats, not just know his depth chart. Johnson is good. This right here, he's not making a ton of plays as a receiver down the field. That's probably not his thing. He's reliable enough in the screen game. Riddick being gone could mean a little PPR boost. And okay, well, nice move. Maybe he does have a little bit of that cut on a dime thing on occasion. And again, shiftiness, back to that Patriot game. Watch number 94 there, Adrian Claiborne. So he beats his man. That's a terrible block. With a lot of running backs, that's a stuff in the backfield. With Tevin Coleman, let's just say, I think that's a stuff in the backfield. But Johnson, with the vision to see it happening and the foot in the ground, sort of a 2-footed jump, he's not the most elite cutter you've ever seen, but surprising. That's a really nice move to save the Lions from a loss. Let's take a break and thank our sponsor today, DraftKings. You may have heard me talk about my 2019 Player Profile Almanac. It's this dense, funny, in-depth PDF document that I write each summer that has a profile for every player you need to know about for fantasy this year, including film grades on everyone. Normally costs you $17, but DraftKings has a great promotion going. If you start up a new DraftKings account by clicking on the link in the show notes, if you make a minimum $5 deposit within 24 hours, they will send you the almanac for free. And I think what's really cool about that is you get to play DraftKings all season, which is really fun. Click the link in the show notes, start that account, get an almanac. Thank you very much, DraftKings, for sponsoring us today. Okay, back at it. Why does my friend Sig Bloom refer to Kerryon Johnson as a badass? Here's the beginning of a taste. What you see with Johnson is just want to. He hits everything as hard as he can. There isn't always room to run with that Lions line. That can be an issue. But when he has a crease, he will break an arm tackle. They talk about running angry, and Johnson runs angry, puts his full force into every move, shoves and pushes, and appears to want it quite a lot. I don't have to show you too much more than this play to talk about Johnson. He's kind of a power guy. He breaks contain pretty easily, going to the right, gets to the secondary, and bang! This actually knocked out safety Jeff Heath, helmet to helmet, trying not to have that in the NFL these days, but Kerryon Johnson, no joke when he's running with ill intent, which is basically all the time. You want to know what kind of dude this is? This is the kind of dude this is. A little flair. Again, he's not going to run complicated routes, probably not a massive receiving season ahead of him, but get off me. That's what Kerryon Johnson is. A very ornery individual who will do what he needs to do, try to run you over, throw you off him. And honestly, in that way, the player he reminds me most of is Ahmad Bradshaw. I show you this vintage 9-year-old clip of Bradshaw tormenting the Bears defense from a bygone time, but you can see stylistic similarities. Maybe most of all, you can see just the ferocity they have in common. I mean, Bradshaw just can't wait to get to the next cut, the next hit, the next contact. He's just fierce. And that was, in his career, both a blessing and a curse, right? It was a running back career, never really stayed on track long term because he was almost too violent a runner at a smaller size. And so I'll just wrap it up with the cautionary note. This is the play that ended Kerryon Johnson's season in Week 11 last year. He does that stopping, he changes direction, he gives you everything on every play, and then, unfortunately, at the end, just gets utterly flung down, crunched by two guys. His knee bounces off the turf, his MCL is sprained, and despite the fact that we thought over and over he might come back in 2018, he never did. And that was the concern with Ahmad Bradshaw, that he ran so hard, that he was so physical at a relatively light frame, that 5'10", 2'0 something. It's hard when you play that hard. Throw yourself around like you're 225 and you're actually 205. Bradshaw is the cautionary tale that maybe Johnson's career might not be a super long one. Okay, and finally, why do we call Kerryon Johnson the Whizzinator? Okay, you're going to have to go with me here. You might remember Ontario Smith, a Vikings running back like 14 years ago, get caught at an airport carrying a device that simulated his member, which he could use to pass a urine test. The brand name of that device was the original Whizzinator. And what is that device, if not a Kerryon Johnson? Oh boy, we have fun. Anyway, I like Johnson. I think if you're making him like a late second or early third round pick, you've got quite a good player. Maybe has slightly increased risk of injury compared to the guys around him, but maybe that means it's not terrible to handcuff C.J. Anderson to him at the end of your draft. We like Kerryon Johnson quite a bit. Thank you very much for watching, gang, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.